This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and going to talk about the upcoming PlayStation update. Now, there's been rumors spread around. People have been doing stuff about those, but I was like, I'll wait until I hear something official from Sony, and now we got the official word. Update 2.5 is coming, and some of those features that were talked about in the rumors are confirmed. We will be getting Suspend and Resume for our games, a feature that Sony announced back in March of 2013. It's been like almost exactly 2 years, because we're close to the anniversary of the announcement for PlayStation 4 that Sony did in New York. So, what does the Suspend and Resume mean? Basically, alright, so, and it's funny because when I first heard of this feature, I thought about it in these terms too. And this is the best way that I could probably explain it to other people without getting technical, because we don't know the technical details yet about this. And I do have some questions that I'll address after I do this explanation. But basically, remember back in the day, if you're old enough to have owned a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and you're playing a campaign, and you're like getting really, really deep into it, and then all of a sudden, your mom, your dad, somebody says, okay, it's time to go. You gotta go. We have to go to your grandma's house. Or you're one of those people who got up really early before it was time to go to school. You know, you're trying to get a couple of hours of gaming in, and you get to a really, really critical point, and it's like, damn, I need more time to get past this point. Well, your options were, for a lot of cases back then, were to turn the game off and start all over again, or do like most of us did, which was we would leave the system on, turn the TV off, you know, go where we had to do what we had to do, come back, turn the TV on, unpause the game, and keep playing. That was kind of crazy because you ran the risk of your system overheating. So you're sitting at school, at your grandma's house, wherever you're at, doing what you're doing, just sitting there praying to God that your system doesn't overheat or something happens where the game crashes or something like that, so that when you get back home, you could finish it off. That's how we used to do it back in the day. Fast forward to the, I guess you could say the N64, PS1 days, where memory cards started to become prevalent. Mind you, there were some games that had saves and battery packs and things like that. You know, but for the most part, you didn't really have that. It's like Zelda did it, but even then, you had to make sure that you got to where you can do a save before you can go through. Kind of same thing with the actually, no, I think Zelda lets you save on the fly, which was probably one of the coolest things. Only problem with Zelda is that whenever you saved, it would start you at a different point than where you were at. So you'd have to, like, if you saved in a dungeon, it would start you outside. You had to go back to the dungeon. Oh my god, that was annoying. Anyway, PS1 and 64, they had the memory cards. You can do saves, but a lot of games had save points, which was annoying. You had, like, Resident Evil. You had something to do, had somewhere to go. You had to make sure you got back to a typewriter and had yourself some ribbon to save. You didn't have no ribbon. You had to find the ribbon, get the ribbon, go back to the typewriter, save, stuff like that, you know. There were saves, but there were save points. So you had to make sure you get, you know, Final Fantasy VII. I remember that, like, always trying to fight to the save point so that you could save it and get to go where you have to go, things like that. You know, moving forward, when memory cards start to phase out, even when you look at PS3, Xbox 360, games automatically saved, but they saved at checkpoints. So you had to kind of hit a checkpoint. You know what I mean? It wasn't just like, or turn it off and go back through a part that you've already been. So it's like, do I really want to play that part all over? Let me get to the checkpoint first. Yeah, you know what I mean? This kind of eliminates all of that headache. Helps you basically, if you got somewhere to go on the fly, you just pretty much can turn your system in rest mode, turn it back on, and the game will resume where it is. Now, the things that I'm worried about, because that sounds so simple, it sounds so neat, right? I'm in a hurry, I gotta go somewhere. Hell, let me just put my system in rest mode. As soon as I turn it on, it should start the game off back where I left. Now, is this a thing where as soon as you turn the system on, that particular game comes up? Is this something where it will come up when you turn the system back on to the main menu? Then when you click on the game, it'll prompt you and say, do you want to start where you last suspended the game at? Is there an option when you're turning the system off that lets you do regular rest mode or a rest mode with suspend on? Because the reason I ask all of this is simply, a lot of times you don't necessarily want to restart that same game. Say you've just been playing a bunch of Call of Duty online. Now, if you're somebody who's going to want to come back and immediately, once you get on your PS4, you want to go back into the lobby system and continue to play, and that's another thing. How does this work? Or with the online as well. But I'll address that in a minute. But if you want to go back to where you were at, that's fine. But say I'm someone who's just playing, a random game of NBA 2K, and when I come home and turn on my system, I'm in the mood to play Madden. Well, I don't want to start the system up in NBA 2K and then back into that game, because I know for me, I'm used to just, if I'm in the middle of a game and I have somewhere to go, I just immediately hit the PS button, go to rest mode, and be out. I don't close the app first. So I'm wondering, if you close the system out before closing the game out, is it going to automatically always go to that game? Because you may not always want to go back to that particular game. So I'm curious to see how they're going to work the options. And again, going back to the online thing, is it going to support online gaming in that way as well? They said there's going to be a lot of games that it's going to support, so that's going to be interesting to see how that's going to work, what games are going to support it. But like, if I just play online, just play deathmatch in Call of Duty, Battlefield, whatever, is it going to boot back up into a lobby so I can search for a game automatically? That would be kind of neat. Curious to see where all of that's going to go. Now that I've spent the meat of this whole video talking about just the suspend mode, let's talk about some of the other features that they announced. One of those things was the sub account to master account. Basically what that is say you share a PS4 with somebody, and then that person decides to get their own PS4. Whoever has the master account on the system still pretty much controls everything that goes. So if you created a name under their master account or vice versa, now you have the ability so that once you get your own PS4 or however you're doing it, you can upgrade yourself to the master account, so you control everything that goes on that particular PS4, and they control everything that goes on their separate PS4 or system. So that's basically how that works. Facebook friend search, basically you can, if you want to find someone that you know who just got a PS4 but you forgot to get their gamer tag, they're going to let you go through Facebook, do a search. If that person has their Facebook attached to their PS4, it'll automatically link you to them so you can add them as a friend or what have you, or if you just want to be a stalker, because that's what some people will probably use that for. Remote play and share play are going to be able to be done at 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second. Why I say per session? Don't know why I said that. 60 frames per second. God, I'm tongue-tied right now. Anyway, what that means is basically they're going to give you an option. It's not going to necessarily automatically jump there, but they're going to give you an option if you want to do it at 30 frames or if you want to do it at 60 frames. Not all games are going to support 60, so this is something that they're giving an option for games like Battlefield 4 that does support 60 frames per second. So if you want to do that with that, stream, remote play or share play that is 60 frames per second. You can do that. Now, what I'm curious about is how's that going to work with the remote play, because I'm curious to see how it's going to translate on the Vita if you do that. So that's going to be interesting. Accessibility options are going to be expanded. Basically, they're going to give a lot of gamers who have, physical limitations an opportunity to have a better experience, which I think is really, really great. Especially how they're going to let you do text to speech. So if you, have difficulty with your hands, not that comfortable or you don't have the ability to type in a message through the controller or use the camera, the motion thing with the camera, what have you, they're going to let you speak your message. They're going to have enlarged text for people who have vision impairments. They are going to, bolder fonts, higher contrast, everything for people who have, some issues with vision. They're also going to let you remap the buttons on your controller, which I think is a really cool thing. I remember watching a YouTube video a while back of this dude. He only had one hand, and he was playing a first-person shooter. I think it was Destiny, but I forget what it was. And he was wrecking shop just using one hand. Now he'll be able to adjust things to actually be more conformed and easier for him having one hand, which is scary because that dude was nice already on the presets. Now that he can adjust things and customize it, he's gonna destroy people. But that's cool. That's a good thing. That's something that's needed. It makes gaming more accessible. So I'm definitely with that. And then trophy improvements. They're going to reorganize how trophies are, make it easier to share. They're going to automatically snap a screenshot once you get a trophy, if you have that setting on. So every time you get a trophy, if you want to say, hey, I got this, you can automatically go into your screenshots and share it. It'll be there for you. And there's a couple of more adjustments, not showing 0 trophies on the screen. Because some of us have those. We may have gotten a game, started, didn't like it, or rented something from GameFly, only played a little bit of it, sent it back, never got any trophies. It's still going to be listed because it's a game that you actually loaded on your system. So it automatically registers in the trophy system. They're going to do some adjustments to that and hide that. And they're going to let you share video clips to Dailymotion. Now, a lot of people might think, who cares? But Dailymotion is big outside of the United States. I mean, I don't know many people in the U.S. who use it, but there's a lot of people outside of the U.S. who actually do use Dailymotion. So that gives them another option outside of YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. So pretty cool updates. Can't wait to hear more news about this. Just thought I'd talk to you guys about this in a little bit of detail. Sorry for the video running real long, but you guys know me. I'm very detail orientated when it comes to this stuff, and just want to make sure you guys get the right information and not just the usual, let's just throw something out here just because it's going to grab views type of thing. But anyway, hit me up, let me know what you think. What are you looking forward to in update 2.5? What do you think they can add to go along with it? Because it's not finalized yet, I believe, but it should be coming soon. So let's see what else they can maybe throw in there, what else they might have in mind when they come out with this. But anyway, you guys hit me up, let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. It's your boy Black Megs, I'm out. Deuces.